What is cracking, everybody? This is the Art of Partnerships, episode 4. I'm Mario Arroyo, agent extraordinaire. To my right, we got my boy
Kevin Brady, real estate entrepreneur.
And then we have two very special guests today, guys. Right here we have the owners, brokers of Lotus Group Real Estate. That's just one title, actually two titles that they hold. These guys do multiple things, in the real estate field. And, I'll let them kind of introduce themselves. So we'll start with Jose first. Jose.
Hello, everybody. Thank you first and foremost, Mr. Brady and Mr. Arroyo right here for inviting us to your podcast. We really appreciate you inviting us over here. I'm Jose Perez, broker owner, co-owner of Lotus Group Real Estate. Also do flips and now building up a wholesale real estate company. So excited to be here with you guys and hope that we can share a lot of knowledge that will help you guys improve in your business.
Definitely. Edwin, go ahead, man. Take the floor.
It's Edwin Acevedo, the Lotus broker on the Instagram. Again, first of all, just wanted to, before I even go there, thank you guys for having us.
Appreciate it, man.
Podcast. I've been watching you guys, and
the pleasure is all ours.
Something that's a great project for you guys, and definitely appreciate. Lotus broker IG, co-owner broker of Lotus Group Real Estate. Also, do some flipping. In the process of investing into doors and apartments, and also have in the process of doing the own mortgage company.
Nice.
Called Ameritas
Very
Financial.
nice, man.
It's already launched. It's in beta.
Nice.
So that's what's happening right now. So multiple things that's happening at the moment.
Cool, man. That's an interesting thing to say right in front of a mortgage broker himself.
I didn't know that.
I thought we were partners.
That's it. Yeah, we wouldn't have had you on if I knew that.
Well, the good thing is that's just something that's on the side, But I primarily do the real estate side,
Right.
I'm
And that's exactly what I meant. Is that these guys wear so many different hats. And at the end of the day, I can't say how grateful I am to be. We're the Art of Partnerships. And I know that so many brokers out there go out there and they talk like if as an agent is part of under their team, but at the end of the day, I'm not on anyone's team. I partner with my brokers and, we partner to build my business. So I can't say how grateful I am, to have these guys on my side, for whatever, anything that I need on the real estate side, you know what I mean? And then vice versa, on Kevin's side as well, a partnership also, lender to realtor, something that, I'm very grateful for also, So with that being said, these guys, appreciate you guys' time coming out. Thank you so much for being here. And, let's just dive into it. So I know that this episode is going to be a little different. Typically we bring someone that we partnered with in the past to talk about the business venture that we did. This one's going to be a little different, because Kevin and I fancy ourselves a partnership. Obviously, you guys are definitely a partnership, and then you guys also do your own business on the side. So obviously you have your own real estate business. Jose, Edwin has his own real estate business. But at the end of the day, the business that ties you guys together is Lotus Group Real Estate. Yeah. So why don't we go ahead and let's go into how did you guys even meet? And what year did you meet? And, whoever wants to take the floor first.
So I think I'll take a little bit of how we met. It was back in the whole idea of partnering up together happened back in 2014, and when we actually kind of committed to each other, we like to say, when we actually decided to
propose to each other
was sometime before October of 2014. Right. But prior to that, he was dating at that time his current wife that I knew, and we had mutual friends with, and we happened to run into each other at the park in Santa Fe Dams, right? Yeah.
First and last time I met your brother, rest in peace.
Yeah, my brother, rest in peace. Thank you. Yeah, that was the first time you met him, and man, you had to mention that. But I remember that day, yes, because of that. And he was there, and I'm like, hey, what are you doing here? You know what I mean? And he said, oh, I'm going out with so-and-so. And I'm like, oh, okay. So that's how you came into the group of friends. And at the time, we had a very, it was like a little small conversation, but we both had the same idea that we wanted to leave the current office that we were part of because we came from similar offices where there was not really any training, no really support. It was pretty much a ghost town. It was him and myself,
right,
and our respective offices just producing and kind of keeping it together. So I said, you know what, I'm thinking of making a move. He said he was looking to making a move. So he said, before you make a move, reach out to me. Right. And that's what happened, right?
Man, you guys were committing right before even really knowing each other.
Right. Well, that's crazy.
Love
right?
at first sight.
Love at first sight. No, it's true. Basically, what he said. We were already Facebook friends, and I think once we saw each other at the park, like, what's going on here? This is not a real estate event. Why are you here? You know. So I think at that point we said, okay, let's connect. So we did a follow up lunch at, I think it was at the Marisco.
I think the Mariscos
it was in Bell.
The Mariscos came before that meeting. Actually, we had done a, Facebook friends get together and we said, let's go have a little Mariscos.
You're talking about that group Marisco spot. There's another one that we went to. It's on Gage. It says or something like that. I forgot the name of that.
It's in LA. Then.
No, it's on Gage in Maywood. Bell.
Oh, you're right. You're talking about the one next to the boxing club, Azteca.
Yes.
El Pollero.
So there,
exactly
we really had.
I forgot about that.
That's the Marisco lunch that we really had and talked about really partnering up. And so what I clearly remember is when we had that lunch. It was such a great meeting that when he was walking out to his car, he got in his car. And I went up to him and said, hey, before you make a move, give me a call. Because I really liked the meeting. I like how it ended. I felt like, he's someone that I can definitely partner up with because he had the values of what I had. Because, again, you got to pair up with someone that really is going to have to share the same values. If you don't, it's not going to work.
Nice.
And so, sure enough, I don't know how many days later, he gives me a call. And he says, hey, I met these guys that have started this marketing company at the moment, was Lotus Group Real Estate. I remember where I was, too. I was driving home. I was 4 blocks away from home. That night, he sends me the logo. And basically, this logo here. And when I saw that through my phone, I'm like, it just clicked. I'm like, this is it. I go, it just hit me with it. Like, this is it. This is it. I go, when are you meeting again? Oh, we're meeting in Koreatown tomorrow morning.
Right.
Let me know if I can go. I want to be part of it. And sure enough, we get there in Koreatown with Juice, who's big on social media. We got other individuals that were there, like five or six of us who are no longer a part of the company, because of the fact. And this goes back to the whole thing.
So there were multiple partners.
But they didn't share the same values.
Okay,
so the core values that we had, it had to be shared and it had to be true.
Right.
And I think because they didn't share the same core values, they ended up weeding themselves out.
Yeah. So tip number 1 for our viewers:
yes,
you have to partner with someone that shares your same values and ethics. And
ethics.
That's the biggest thing it comes down to. And that's one thing that I saw when we first met. I didn't really know him like in a personal level, but I saw him how he was doing business. I saw that he was kind of there. And so when the opportunity came itself, before we met with those gentlemen, I put an application on our first office. Remember that? It was a small little office. It was only like 1,500 square feet, if that.
Is that the Downey one?
Is the one on 2nd Street. That's where we started. And I took the leap of faith. Well, you know what? I'm gonna turn in the application. I didn't think too much. My credit was okay. Wasn't like a great credit, but I really talked to the lady and I told her, look, I really want an opportunity, and I hope you can give it to me. My credit's okay. It's not amazing, but here's the application. Here it goes.
Right.
And at the time I wasn't ready at all. But we had already had our conversation. And when I remember she called me, it was October 2014, and she goes, hey, Jose, your application was approved. You still interested in the office? And I go, yes, but I don't know what the hell I was doing.
You just straight committed.
I just committed, and then she said, okay, well, we'll need the deposit for November so we can start fixing the office, and then you guys can start occupying in December.
Right.
This is October of 2014, and at that time,
it's aftershock.
Yeah, and at that time, there was an earthquake before the podcast started, by the way.
We're feeling the aftershock right now, here on live camera.
Yeah, I love it. I love
Here
it.
it comes still. I think it's just Mario moving.
No, I'm checking the lighting.
Good.
That thing was moving.
Yeah. So then that's when I told Edwin, hey, Edwin, they approved my application, bro. Are you ready to make this happen? Are you serious? And he said, let's do another meeting. That's when we met at Lock and Key.
Yeah.
Lock and Key is when we met. And
Downey?
And Downey.
Okay.
I wasn't a broker at the time yet. He was a broker, so we had the broker license. So I said, it'll be a great thing. I have the office. I need a broker to partner up with so we can open up a real estate company.
So boom. There's a first sign of leverage right there. Of leveraging each other.
I remember the words he told me, look, Jose, if I'm gonna make a move, I want to make a move that is more than just being a broker. I want to make a move to kind of be part ownership of it. And at that time I go, you know what? Something new for me, something new for him. So I know that we were going to rely heavily on each other's support. Yep. So I saw it as a good fit. I put in the deposit to hold the office, and then he brought in the first month's rent because at the time, most of my money was going to a flip that was just eating up a lot of my costs. So we took the leap of faith with very little money. Honestly, we started with $5,000. Our office. Damn. We had to negotiate the furniture from the person that was losing that office. We really had mixed matching furniture. We had phones that probably half of them didn't work. Right? Remember that? All the chairs were beat up. You know what I mean?
They were torn.
So I told the guy, I wanted like $2,500 for all the furniture. I told him, look, all I can afford and give you right now is like $1,400. And he gave us like 3 computers, like 5 desks, and everything was mixed matching. But you say, you know what? This is an office and it's ours. A small office. But I knew that we were going to build something big. I even told Edwin, I don't know if you remember, I go, dude, we're going to outgrow this office quick.
Right. So really quick, I'm going to stop you guys really quick. Is that, so right here, what I'm hearing is so far is that you guys share the same vision. You know, we had a couple of investors that fell off the boat along the way, right? But at the end of the day, what tied you guys together was the vision for the office. And then that's ultimately what kind of made you guys stick with each other. You guys leverage each other in a certain way. Obviously, you had a broker license. He had an office that was ready to go. Right. And yeah, that's kind of where we're at right now, right?
Right. And I want to make it much more clear too, as far as the vision. We can have a vision, but if you don't have the type of the core values, then it may not work. You might not get there. Right. Because without those core values, it has to be the right ones. You know. And so I have to go back to share the same core values. You know, that's very important. Absolutely. Someone that has bad bad ethics could have the same vision of someone that comes from the right place, comes with a good heart.
That's a good point.
You know what I mean? So one of them is gonna try to get there in a fugazi way, and the other person's gonna get there the right way. Right. And that's not gonna work.
Definitely.
So you can have the same vision, but you also have to have the core value. That's very important.
Absolutely. And one thing that you could probably touch up on too is that, you know, another thing that we wanted to get across in this episode was that, you know, partnering together with someone is not all sunshine and rainbows. You know what I mean? There's been times where Kevin and I have definitely had to have very tough conversations with each other. He's got to get on my ass. I got to get on his ass. And at the end of the day, as long as we have that understanding that, hey, dude, you know, this is why we're telling each other what we're telling each other, and we don't take any shit personal. Excuse my language. But as long as we don't take anything personal, that's what's going to make the partnership work. Right. You know, so I mean, definitely, I mean, I don't know if there's anything that you want to touch up on that, but
no, just like you said, it's not always going to work out. Like with you guys, it started with 4 partners, right?
Right.
Now it's just the 2 of you. With partnerships that I've been in, at this day now, I've been bought out of certain partnerships. And that's just because it was either our values didn't align. That was the main one for most of them. Values or overall our end vision.
Right.
And I would say those are the 2 main components in a partnership. You have to share the same vision, but at the same time, the same values.
Right. No, and you talked. I mean, we're gonna be raw. We're gonna be real. I mean, that's what it's all about.
We want to share the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? Partnerships are freaking hard. And especially me and him, like, we didn't know each other prior. I didn't know his way of being or personal way of being. Like, we didn't grow up as friends and knew each other's backgrounds and stuff like that. Yeah. We've kind of had to, like, we were dating, right? That's what you call it. We were dating when we first started with the business and getting to know each other. I mean, I have flaws. We all have flaws. He had flaws, right?
Absolutely.
Right. And there was stuff a lot of crap that we had to get through and that we're still getting through, right? Right. Because we've been together now 4 years.
We've been together
4 years. And business partnerships, cabrones. Yeah. business partnership.
Right.
We've been having been building this business together for about a little bit over 4 years now, and it was a lot to getting to know each other. And there's been a lot of stuff that's happened along the way, right? A lot of disagreements, but at the end of the day, we know that we each bring something to the table that has helped us kind of grow the business. You know what
definitely.
I mean? And if you see that and you know that each of you guys are bringing something to the table, I think that's the biggest thing in a partnership is making sure everybody carries their own weight.
Dude, 100%. You never want to get that animosity by feeling like someone isn't holding their end of the bargain. You know what I mean? So definitely, I mean, man, I couldn't agree with you more than that. It's funny, before you guys even got here, I was talking to Kevin and we're talking about, like, you know, partnering with someone. You have to date before you actually get married. You know what I mean? And, you know, so with that being said, it's just funny because, you know, you can't just, you know, find someone and say, hey, you know what? You're good at this, I'm good at this, let's partner together if you never met the person, you know. Right. So just speaking from my own experience, another partnership that I have is with Wendy, and you know, we operate our real estate business together. But before we ever would have even considered that, we had to definitely know each other like full on 100% before we even took on that next step. Edwin, I don't know, is there anything that, I mean, you would want to add to?
I would like to call it, I think it's like a leap of faith,
right?
You know what happened here, and I think, you know, I always tell people that we're like the yin and yang. We're in yin and yang partnership here. There cannot be two Edwins partnered up. We'll we'll kill each other. The same thing with Jose. There cannot be two Jose's.
That's true.
You know, we have two different personalities, and I think you guys see that. You guys see the personality of how I grow and how he rolls, right?
Oh, yeah.
And the thing is, ultimately, we complement each other. So think of this intertwining.
Did
where
you just say I compliment him?
It's this, not this.
Right.
And I want to pretty much say that in a nice way, in more of a business way, we have to hire your own weakness. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And vice versa, right? There's things that I cannot do naturally that he can do it naturally with just without even thinking. And vice versa. Right. And also too, I've learned a couple of things that he's done, and I applied it to my arsenal, if you want to call it that, right? But you know, that's how we grow. And then most importantly, he needs to understand his role and then my role. Yeah. We can't do the same thing, because then it's gonna be like, what are you doing in my space?
Yeah. Right.
It has happened. It's happened. You know, we've gotten in each other's space before, and it is not a pretty picture, honestly.
I'm a witness.
Right? Yeah, he knows our ages. No, you know, it's out there.
And we're not talking about physical space. We're talking about basically
the roles.
This is where I'm good at.
Stay in your lane.
Stay in your lane. Yep. Hashtag stay in your lane. But you know what I'm saying? You know?
Oh yeah.
And you know, let me be. I know what I know we can do, and vice versa. Yeah. So I think that's the main key thing that needs to be understood.
Right. You know, that's definitely something that we could relate to too. You know, is that when it comes down to clients ask a realtor all the time, you know, details about a loan. You know, I never give them those details. I always throw it right back to this guy. Hey, dude, you know, this is what they're asking, blah, blah, blah. He's going to give you a much better answer than I ever could.
Right.
You know, so staying in each other's lane it's huge. It's very important.
And it's like that with Mario and I, our partnerships throughout anything, whether it be the podcast, flipping homes, lending and selling real estate, our personalities are different, or our strengths are
completely
different.
Right.
Even with this podcast, Mario leads. You know what I mean? He is he's more outgoing.
Right.
I chime in every 2 seconds, but that is my personality. I am a numbers guy. I'm thinking of numbers in my head as we speak right now. Right. And I can't stop it. It's who I am.
I believe it.
And if it wasn't for Mario as a partner on this podcast, we wouldn't have this podcast.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm blushing.
Yeah. And then when it comes down to everything, the finances of the podcast or the finances of any other project, that's where
that's his forte.
That's my forte, exactly.
Yeah, definitely. You know, so when it comes down to the numbers too, it's sometimes like I could crunch the numbers myself, but I always gotta run it through this guy again. You know what I mean? So that's kind of like where we kind of like, you know, at the end of the day, staying in our lane. Right. You know, so one thing that I know that I've witnessed with you guys is, you know, I noticed you were doing a lot of NAREP stuff, you know, last year. You know, you were the president of the NAREP chapter, which is, you know, for those that don't know, NAREP stands for the National Association of Hispanic Real Estate Professionals. Edwin was the president of Los Angeles. And then, you know, with that being said, a lot of the office load, I noticed we were going a lot more to Jose. You know, so here you are, you know, putting Lotus Group on a bigger platform. You know, you're focusing on that, and then, you know, Jose is kind of at home taking care of the kids. You know what I mean?
Stay at home dad. It was a working mom.
Yeah. So, you know, and then another thing, you know, you guys.
I like how you do that. I like how you do that.
You have to get him to it.
You had to say that, but we all know what's up. We all know what's up.
Exactly. You know, it's funny. Before this podcast, we're actually talking. We're like, you know, Edwin mentioned this earlier. Is that two completely different personalities, you know? So Edwin is a much more like straightforward, direct. Hey, you know,
tough love.
This is what it is. Get your fucking shit together, and you know, do your thing. And Taps is a little more like, hey, you know what? Well, look, you know, it's not all that bad. Like you got this going for you, this going for you.
Build, break, build, baby.
Build, exactly. You know, so it's kind of like I ask Edwin something, and if he says no, I go to Taps, and he says yes.
Or like the mother, going back to the mother-father thing, right?
Usually the dad is the one that
Jose can't
says
escape
yes.
that. He can't escape the motherly role.
Says no, and they go to the dad and say yes.
That's how it is, man.
There he goes again. You can't escape it. You can't escape it.
You know what? And I think that's kind of like what's kind of helped us grow, because even though we've had our little differences or we've had little bumps in the road, we continue to grow. You know, we're at over 50 agents now. Right. We have 3 locations. Wow. And the fact that we have that difference, that also can be a strength, right? Like you mentioned, you can't have two chiefs with similar qualities. Yeah. You have to have one that's this way and one that's that way, because you're going to be able to cater to more agents and more individuals. Every agent is different. Every agent comes with a different attitude, and every agent comes with different backgrounds. Absolutely. And if you have backgrounds that you can connect with those particular agents with, he might have been raised different than I have, right? And we have. A lot of us have been raised different, and that's what gives us who we are. And that's what helps us connect with people in a different scale, in a different way. So the fact that we've been able to have a little bit of both is what's caused a lot of retention, has caused growth as well, and the recruiting and stuff that we've had. You know what I mean? I know when you came to the picture, you got a little bit of both, and we both
did
together as a team were able to bring you, who's a different personality than both of us, right? Into our business, and then you brought along Wendy, who's your business partner.
Wendy came along,
and we were able to connect in a different scale because of that. So I think in partnerships, if you're in a partnership with both of you guys have similar, you're going to be bumping heads a lot, and there's going to be very little growth. So,
I mean, even in sports, we see it. You know, Kobe and Shaq bumped heads. You know, but they wanted one thing. And that was that trophy.
They shared the common goal.
Right. Yeah. One stayed at the perimeter, the other one stayed right under the basket. You know, at the end of the day, he knew not to go out of that area. And Kobe, you know, pretty much dominated the outside perimeter. Right. Yeah. So that's basically how it works. You know, they both wanted the same thing. Still clashed, but at the end of the day, they talked it out and kept on going because they wanted that ship. You know?
And you know, adding to that would be like, I know you guys have definitely had your differences, which we could probably get into in a bit now too. Is that, and even Kobe and Shaq, you mentioned that one. You know, they definitely had their differences off the court, but when it came down to when they were playing on the court, I mean, dude, these guys were probably one of the best. Top 3 for sure dynamic duos in the whole NBA. You know, because it all comes down to that common goal, like you said, to where you can put all the other stuff to the side and make sure that you're doing what you got to do in order to reach the ultimate prize.
You know, it's important. It's good that you mentioned that, because as much as we've argued, fought, whatever, what have you, I bet you, and he can say this too. I bet you, if someone walks in here and wants to fight us, we will have each other's back.
Oh, I know you guys.
I mean, no matter how much, we could easily just be hitting each other right now over a crazy argument. Like, I don't want to look at him. And next in and wants to fight one of us, we have each other's back.
Right.
That's what family is at the end of the day.
And then everyone will knock them out on the next one.
Yeah, so for sure.
It's crazy, but it's part of the process at the end of the day. And no matter what, we have love for each other.
And I think at the end of the day is really keeping that, because, and also we know we've allowed a lot of our personal stuff to get in the way. And I think when you allow a lot of the personal stuff to get in the way, and if you don't talk about it, that's when it grows and becomes a bigger issue. So as far as partnerships go, is you have to, and once you lay it all on the table, that's where communication is key in the partnership.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so let's transition now to the numbers. We talked about all the benefits that come with a partnership, but one of the main cons that people point out is that you have to split the profit with your partner. right? That's what everyone says. I don't want a partner because whatever I make, I have to split 50-50 with this guy now. So let's start with the business entity. There's many different ways that you can set up your partnership or your business. There's LLCs, there's S corps, there's C corps, there's just general partnerships. Let's talk about that. What kind of entity did you guys create for your real estate brokerage here?
Well, we started with the S corp.
Okay.
With the intention of one day having different divisions.
Okay.
For example, AP Capital Realty Group is the name of our corporation.
Right.
And so there is a DBA to Lotus Group Real Estate. So then later on, we can have an LLC, and that LLC could be an escrow, and another LLC can be a lending company. Another LLC could be our investment property. And so each one will have a different division. So the S corp serves more as an umbrella a type for a company like ours that would have different branches. So if you want to have different divisions, S corp is the right way to do, and also you avoid double taxation as well.
And when we set it up, we did it purposely to kind of put ourselves independently from the other partners at the time. I knew that we wanted to build our own selves and build our own corporation, because if we were to have kind of relied on them and them running their corporation, maybe they wouldn't have ran it. And obviously now it's true to that way of thinking that they were not going to run it the way we were going to run it. So from the beginning, we made sure that the AP Capital Realty Group was going to be independently corporation doing business as Lotus Group Real Estate, right?
Got it.
So that worked out in our benefit greatly. And now that you look back to what everything that has happened, is the fact that we kind of set up this corporation separately was a big win for us.
Right. And speaking of numbers, a company that's relatively small in the city of Downey, I mean, like you said, 50 agents, that could sound big, but compared to these giants that we're competing against, some of the, I'm not going to say their name because we're not going to give any form
free
of
marketing.
yeah, exactly. But, there's some giants in our marketplace, and I know we've reached top 10, a few of these years. And, just to be that small office, what is the number what has been our best gross volume of sales?
So we've grown year after year. So that's the beautiful thing, that no year have we've done less than the last year. Every single year since we've been in partnership in the last 4 years, we've grown. We hit over 1.6 million in gross sales commission in itself. And we've done it as a company over $80 million in sales volume, being a smaller company. And we've done over 150 transactions being a smaller company. A lot of the people that have been around for many years, they're hitting like a little bit over 200, some that are doing the 300s, right? So the fact that we've been growing, and some of these companies have been around for 20, 25 years, and they're barely scratching a little bit over 300,000. So the fact that we've gotten already close to the 200 transaction mark as a new company, not backed up by a huge corporation or a franchise, says a lot of what we've established as far as our foundation
from scratch.
Yeah, and that's built because he and I have a competitive. We compete with each other every year. We've called each other out. Okay, he knows who his papi is every year. By the way.
Oh yeah, what about this year?
This year is not over yet. We're half a year.
It's
not over yet.
But
we compete because I think that drives us. It drives our production, personal production, and I think it drives the production as far as our agents go, because we feel like we want to be in the top 5. We want to be in the top 3. You know what I mean? So that every year is what fuels our company.
Definitely.
So let's talk about that a little bit more. How much time do you guys devote to actually building the business, or devote to planning on how the business can profit more the following year? And I know that's tough because you guys have to focus on your own individual production. So I guess my question is, what structure do you have? How much time is devoted to the business profit instead of your individual production?
If you guys don't mind, I actually want to start by answering that question.
Go ahead.
So with that being said, Kevin, that's actually a great question. And as an agent working with these guys, I can't say that I've ever felt like they were not there for me. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, their business, I know what they prefer, what they put first is their agents. So it's actually that is their first business before their own. you know, and then obviously they take business themselves, which in the past that actually at different brokerages that kind of bothered me because I felt like I was competing with my broker. With you guys, I've never felt that way. In a sense, your guys' business brings me more business. It gives me more opportunities, you know. So, but anyways, at the end of the day, the question was, you know,
to answer your question, I think, and he and I both agree that we spent more 80% trying to grow the office and like 20% more in our business. Okay. Right. And like you said, we've managed to figure out a way where, because there's a lot of brokers and they've told us before, well, one of you guys has to stop producing and just focus on recruiting. And I go, well, we can do both. And it's been working out where we're providing more inventory because through our flips that we do, through the listings, these are listings that we're getting from our past clients. It's not listings that we're out there door knocking, cold calling for. Those are listings where now I don't do open houses on my listings. I give those listings and open houses to my agents. Why? Those are opportunities for them to generate leads. Yeah. So through our business, through the 25, 30% or 20% that we focus on our own personal business, that gives our agents an opportunity to generate more business for the company, right? So we create new inventory through our flips. We create new open house and lead generating opportunities through our listings that we actually get through our past clients that we've helped that already trust us. They would have never gotten this listing otherwise. You know what I mean? They trust us. They called us. They were referred to us by a client. And now we give the agent the opportunity. So honestly, 80%. Back in the days when we first started, I'll say 80% of the business and the numbers were his business and my business. Now, to this day, only 20% of our own production gives to the company's numbers, bottom line numbers. So that means that 80% of the numbers now come from our agents themselves. And only 20 to 25% comes from ours personally.
Okay. Sorry, now follow-up question, because you guys are all intertwined. So you know a little bit more, but I'm more like the viewers. So I'm probably going to ask the questions that they're wondering here. Right. Why do it like that? Why focus more attention on the company's production?
We'll start with Edwin on this
than your individual production. I mean, what's the benefit? Whether it be profit, whether it be giving back. I'm curious to know why.
Well,
why
because you think about the long term, the big picture. You know, and the big picture is the fact that we got to be able to support and train our agents. We do know that some of the agents, most of the agents are new. You know, we have relatively to everyone else in Downey and with the rest of the Lions, we're a baby company. And with that said, we know that we need to put in the training, put in the our time into them, because long term, not only going to be most likely loyal to us, right? But when the market takes a big turn again, we're gonna have a downward turn at some point, right? Right. Maturity is going to happen. Age is going to happen. Family is going to happen. When that market goes back up again, guess what? The average age of our agents will be 31, 32. And guess what? Their colleagues and peers will be first-time home buyers. At that point, I believe that's the real Lotus Group coming out party. That's when it's going to happen. That's when it's going to be like that. Man. So I believe that investing into our agents first is going to give us a big return long-term. Right. At the same time, thinking about the short-term is us producing. Right. We got to produce. Why? Because at least we can give scenarios and war stories, right? You don't want to give a coach that's never done production at all and go into meetings and say what to do. I want to teach them how to do it, you know, and in order to tell them how to do it, you got to be doing it too. You got to be in the trenches. Right.
Like, based on experience, not just theory.
Right.
Because
if it's let's say I got an escrow that is almost falling out, you know, and I'm like, wow, this, and then I figured out how to fix it. Boom, it's back online. It's no longer on live support. It's going to close. Well, I could take that same scenario, wait till Monday morning, and tell the rest of the agents, this is what happened to me. This is what I did to fix it. And lesson learned. These agents are not, maybe these agents have not learned it yet, but at least they're taking notes and remember what I said, and vice versa with Jose. So I think it works out on both sides. Right. You know, so... And when the other question is regarding the questions, I take pride. He takes pride in answering questions, dropping what we're doing. Yeah. And if they ask us a question through text message, we'll answer right away. Quick. We get messages from. I got a response from an agent who said, "Wow, like Edwin, like my previous broker would take hours to respond to me." And one of them said I would have to make an appointment to ask a simple question. I just found that
I believe it, man.
Like, it's crazy. I tripped. Really?
I was at a company really quick, and I'm not gonna say the name because we're not giving no fucking advertisement here, right? But this company, man, got recruited, super excited, 2 weeks later, I was 2 weeks into the company, and I was pissed off, man, because, well, I'll get to that right now. 2 weeks into the company, I say hello to the broker, and the guy doesn't remember my name. He didn't remember my damn name, dude. Wow. And right there, I was like, I'm fucking out of here. Yeah. And I was pissed because I was like, man, I opened 2 escrows in 2 weeks in this company. And I was mad.
Let me touch on that. There's agents too that even have left, and I'm not gonna say any names either, right? But they still reach out and still ask me questions because me, as the relationship that we've created, because that's what we believe in, they still find me more accessible than their own broker. So sometimes I kid around and tell them, hey, make sure that your broker knows that I'm invoicing them for this call. But it's because they feel that we can help them even after that, because that's how we are. We leave the door open. If you left in a way that it was respectable and in a way that, hey, you know what? People have to grow. People leave. We left, right? And we can appreciate that. We're not going to be there mad that you did, but if you left in a good way, the door's always going to be open for you. So we're always a call away if you need it too. So I think that's what's helped a lot.
Yeah. No, that says a lot about you guys.
We're so competitive that sometimes I feel we're competing against who answers first to the agent. and who wins here is the agent. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
You really think about it. The agent's winning here. Like, wow, I got these two boys competing. Who's going to answer first? Like, bring it on. Sometimes I answer and then he still answers the same thing. I'm like shaking my head. I just answered that question.
And so I answered it differently.
I'm like the same thing. You know,
to the point where they kind of even bickered at each other a little bit.
And that's a good thing because you got two different viewpoints on the
two different experiences.
Two different experiences on the same situation. Yeah.
Right.
No, and the reason why I think that we've had like a little bit of delayed results, we've always said is we're a new breed of brokers, because the old brokers' way of thinking is you got to stop producing, I go, well, if I can grow my business and I can grow my agents, I can help my agents with still producing, I consider that my new breed of brokers, a new way of us training and teaching, because times have changed, right? Of course, we stay true to the core values of real estate, of the traditional way of doing real estate, but why can't we still produce, do our own business, and in the same way find those same experiences as a way to teach our agents, because they're seeing us through those scenarios, right? So we don't really have too many seasoned agents. We don't recruit from other offices mainly. We call them, we breed them. We start breeding these people. So we know that it's going to take a little bit longer. But like Edwin said, once they get to that age, they're a little more mature, they're more experienced. That's when we're going to see the true results of everything that we've invested in.
Definitely.
So I have a different opinion about that, and this is where partnerships come, right?
Beautiful. That's what we want to hear.
Yeah. I think we produce because it's out of necessity, not because we want to do it purposely. We do it because it's out of necessity.
That's true.
We believe that, we can't just sit back and pay our bills with the agents that we have now. It's not realistic. Not realistic whatsoever. So I think we're producing because we need to. And I think over time we're also doing the flips, right? We're doing this and that. Yeah. But I think over time, as the agents get older and what have you, then we can step back a bit. If we get referrals and SOIs, that's how we get nowadays.
Yeah.
That from referrals or a business from our SOI, eventually we'll delegate that, to someone that's close to that we trust, a team or someone there, right? But right now it's really that, and we're trying to get to that point. We're going to get much older. Agents are going to get much older. And we're going to be running a sustainable business. And what I mean is that we all heard the saying, right? A business is not a real business unless you can walk away from it and it's still running.
Absolutely,
right?
man.
So that's the key
That's what
thing.
we preach here at the Art of Partnership.
That's what you guys talked about on your first episode.
That's exactly what we talked about.
And that stuck with me a lot, because
Scaling.
I'm like, I want to scale the business to be where you could walk away from it and it still runs, or you can sell it, right? And then it's still producing.
Right.
So I believe that's the ultimate goal for any business person.
That's the ultimate leverage.
Years back, Berkshire Hathaway came around and basically bought EDWIN. And that was a self-sustainable business. And Gino was part of it. He ended up being part of the board and CEO of that division. And so you ask, what's our, if someone's would ask us, what's our exit strategy? Yeah. It'd be something very similar to that. Yeah. Very similar to that. Very nice. So what happened is someone had reached out that was very fitted with Gino. Yeah. And I told him what we were trying to do. And she said, hey, I'll have Gino reach out to you and call you and see if you guys can sit down and mastermind. And she wasn't kidding. And so he called me last week and asked, and I said, hey, let's sit down. And he goes, hey, you know what? I'm more than glad to do that. let's make it happen. Let's see what we can do. Give me a call when we have the chance, and we'll make it from there. So to learn from someone like him and replicate what he did and do it with Lotus Group, that's something that we're
and Gino, I have mad respect for Gino. I know him on a personal level. Back when I was part of the corporation, I used to go to Cupertino where their home office at. And the reason I respect that is he was able to build a business, and I saw the trials and tribulations that he had go through. He's a great leader. I respect him. There's a lot of leadership.
And Gino's with Berkshire.
Gino Rafari was a founder CEO together with 3 other partners of the Antero brand at the time when I was there. And when Berkshire Hathaway came around and purchased them, they were able not to only keep the name, because then they became a Berkshire Hathaway affiliate. They didn't get converted completely. It's not an independent office. And they brought him in to the CEO to run that Berkshire Hathaway Home Services division. So he was able to not only sell the company, right? He was able to still sustain himself as a CEO, now building
that's not a bad
brand
deal
itself. So I have respect for that. He's a great businessman. So I'm glad that he reached out, because I've known him for so many years.
And so you think about that right now, right? And they just Berkshire Hathaway just recently bought Tarbell Realtors.
Yeah.
As well, they're gobbling them up real quick.
Oh,
and so you're seeing that, and for millions, we're not talking about thousands, we're talking about millions, right?
Of course.
And so here is Gino saying, "Hey, Edwin, here, Jose, you guys want us to buy you?
Right.
You know, get here. Well, I'll show you to get here so we can buy you."
That's what I was gonna get to right now.
Reverse engineering the whole situation.
Yes.
So why wouldn't you take that call serious and say, "Hey, yeah, definitely. I want to pick your brain and really understand how we can get to that point." One thing he did say though, which was kind of contradictory.
Contradictory.
Yeah, contradictory as far as what he did. He said that to pretty much not to expand, not to have different offices out there, because it will dilute the culture. And when you can't be there at that office, you're not going to be able to replicate what you have in your main headquarters.
Right.
And so that was like, whoa, that's it's crazy, because Intero was different offices, different satellites, and how were you able to maintain that, right? So I'm really interested to kind of understand why he said that in more further detail.
And that's been said to me prior by another broker. He goes, why not a big
broker
office?
that is.
Yeah, why not a big one office where you can have control of everything and you can grow it? I mean, what is the more locations? You're gonna have 8 more headaches, right, or whatnot.
Right.
So those are things that we've learned,
and in a sense, like that does make sense.
Yeah. And speaking
of
partnership, this is stuff that we get to learn from different people. Is we might start off, as you guys are starting a business, you might start off a certain way of thinking, but after talking to people that have done it and have already been through the trials and tribulations, it starts changing a little bit of your perception of which way you want to take your business to. And now, just because others have their certain way of thinking doesn't mean that you can't get it done either, right? So you want to sustain that. You have to pick and choose of the leadership that you're listening to and what your goals. And if they meet what you're trying to get to, that's what you need to follow. But it's good to learn from different leadership like we have.
Absolutely. And you know, speaking of, you know, companies buying out another company, you guys, I know you guys have been offered that multiple times. And I know you guys have actually even entertained it. You know what I mean? Looked at it, you know, see what they were offering you guys, and it could be all types of different things, you know. I mean, someone to completely buy you out, join this company, bring the whole Lotus Group with you. That's a new team or whatever. What made you guys not do it? You know, and I'm sure, you know, without even knowing, I'm pretty sure some of these numbers that they probably threw at you were pretty sweet. What made you guys say we're good?
We've been approached multiple times in partnerships and being part of different franchises, and I think, you know, our biggest thing is we're not where I don't think we've found the it hasn't kind of caught our attention to want to be part of that. I feel that we've grown ourselves and our brand, and we have something different.
No one has swept you off your feet yet.
There's no like 7 digits. No, not enough zeros there. I think you know, we're not done yet.
Not enough zeros. I love it.
Yeah, we're not done yet. Yeah. And I think, come on, make it 4 years going back and forth, struggling, and then just to give it away to somebody. It just doesn't make sense. It's like, no, we're still building, you know, and we're not gonna go that route where someone's gonna say, "Hey, I'm Facebook, you're Instagram, let me buy you because you're getting too big." No, that's not how it's gonna work. We're gonna maintain and try to create a legacy.
Right.
It's long term, you know, and we got to get to that point. We're not there yet. And these other companies that have tried to acquire us, you know, they wanted to do that, but then the margins for us was like very, very minimal.
Too slim.
Like zero.
Right.
As far as the and we're talking about the top line is what they were asking for. And I think the top line is what we mostly profit from, right? Apart from the splits and everything else. But I think it wasn't enough for us to say, no, it's not. And plus, at the same time, we want to be that, like, I like to say that tugboat, right?
Right.
So tugboat and a cruise liner. Cruise liner, we understand that when they want to make that angle, that turn, it takes a wide angle to get there, right? A tugboat can see, oh, wow, we want to make that. We want all the technology out there.
that.
Let's make that quick left over there. So we're always ahead of the game. By the time that cruise liner's on it, they're behind. So we can quickly ask ourselves, do you want to do it? Yeah, let's do it.
You maneuver
there's
a
no
lot
board of
quicker.
directors. There's no there's no votes. No, if we feel like it's something's going to help the business, we do it right away. And that's what we feel, that we're always first doing certain things, and then we see the big brands doing it after.
I've noticed that myself.
You notice that? So
Yep.
I think that's the key thing. That's one of the pros of having a company like of our size, because again, we adjust faster.
Yeah.
You know, and
Right,
that's
right,
my
right.
thing.
Kevin, you were gonna say something?
No, I was just gonna say I definitely agree with what you're saying. Not buying into that big company because you're able to adjust on a dime. You're able to turn on a dime,
Right.
whereas they have to go to, like you said, their board of directors, all this compliance. There's like extra. I hear that from big companies. We have to go through so many compliance procedures in order to make this next move.
Politics.
And at the end of the day, we're structured like any real estate company is structured, right? And we always say that people don't buy the brand, they buy the person that's actually there helping them the service. Of course, brands help, recognition helps, hands down. I'm not going to deny that. But if we're able to operate and grow, a lot of these companies started like we started. A lot of these big companies started with being smaller companies, right?
Yeah.
A lot of them, of course, bought into the big franchise because they've already laid out the foundation, the systems that you can just plug in and play. We've been kind of building from scratch and growing from scratch. And I think that's the stuff that we hold on greatly to, is the fact that this is something that we've struggled and put in a lot of work.
There's a sense of pride behind it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
So,
Absolutely.
And I still remember, and you know, in Downey, like the mecca of real estate. There's a real estate office in every corner.
absolutely.
On the left side of us, on the right side of us, right across the street. There's like at least 10, 12 real estate offices within like quarter mile. And in 2016, we were the fastest growing company in Downey.
Right.
And that says a lot, because there's thousands of real estate offices. How did we know that? Because title reps used to come to our office and tell us this, because they keep track of these things.
Yeah.
And we're like, really? We weren't even checking these numbers. And it was like, wow, okay, that's crazy. So to be,
I had my
known as
eye
fast company-
on that data since 2016 myself.
Yeah.
You guys were a company I heard of since
that was
I barely got
our
licensed.
first year in the new building. We outgrew our first little 1,500 square foot office within the first 6 months. We had a 1-year lease. We said we're not renewing. We wanted something bigger. So then we went to our new office. In 2016 was the first year having moving to offices, having done changes, and that year was a year that we were like just growing
And I want to attribute that a lot to the partnership that we have.
Right.
The huge thing, because without that, I don't think we would have grown as fast or been where we're at right now. There's no way. If I could even fathom to think about this, there's no way. There's no way I could do
That's
it
amazing,
myself.
man. Yeah.
There's no way. And
sure.
vice versa. It's just because of the yin and yang factor again. It's more like Jose has this, Edwin has this. Damn, I got best of both worlds.
Yeah.
We're always there. We're supporting training. That's huge. We're huge on training, huge supporting everything
100%.
else. And I think that was the biggest factor, is why people started coming to our office.
And they
People started
gravitated.
seeing that.
Yeah, and you know, that was me. I was looking, you know, when back before I joined you guys, I was looking at two companies. You guys were one, and the other one was a bright, shiny object that didn't have a lot of time in the marketplace, you know, and neither did you guys, you know. But at the end of the day, I still gravitated to you guys because I just saw all the momentum. You know what I mean? And you guys carried a lot of momentum. And I saw, you know, some of the realtors that you guys had, and they were doing big things. And I love that we're a very young office. You know what I mean? And there's people my age, I'm 26, you know, people my age that are doing, I mean, good numbers, you know, very good numbers. And, you know,
33 too.
yeah.
Older,
And you guys are relatively young yourself, you know, so I also love that as well. You know, you guys are someone that not just looking up to you guys as brokers, but I mean, almost like big brothers. You know what I mean? So, but another question I want to ask you guys was, who is the top producing realtors in your office right now?
plugged himself in. He knows he's there.
Oh man.
Hey, but we had a discussion. There's always room for improvement. He knows.
There's always room for improvement. Yes.
You know what? And we're gonna come across. I think we've helped a lot of people that have gotten what they needed to get to now become top producers in other offices. You know what I mean?
Right.
I believe that I always tell people that if you come to our office, you're always gonna walk away a different person,
Right.
mentally, right? Not just in your production, but also mentally, because we're strong believers in building the mindset of our agents and making them believe and think that there's more to just door knocking the rest of your real estate career, and then just freaking handing out flyers and cold calling. I mean, eventually you want to start building the wealth, and that's one thing that we've been changing this year as well. We've been building our own selves as far as real estate goes, owning rental properties that I would just buy 2 units. I mean, creating taking the money from the flips and now investing into different things, whether it be stocks, whether it be properties and whatnot. So that's the stuff that we want to teach our agents to start building the wealth, because real estate opens up so many opportunities to you to be able to retire. That's why they say that 90% of millionaires became so through real estate. So having that partnership where we share that vision of our agents is what's also key. So
For sure.
you know, I think we're coming close to an end here, but if I want to leave you guys with a message, partnerships are going to be hard. There's been so many times that he and I have wanted to throw in the towel, like you go do your, and I do mine. But at the end of the day, I think what's kept us together, and Wendy had pointed this out a little bit earlier, is our agents. Our agents are our biggest kind of drive, our biggest passion. I like seeing people that come into our office and they become different people. Now they're dressing better. They're talking better. They're producing now. They're changing their family's legacies now. So for me, I think that's what keeps me doing this.
It's a lot of fulfillment. It's a lot of fulfillment that you get. You know, I think wrapping everything up in regards to what we spoke about today, a partnership. First of all, you have to share the same vision, right? Because without vision, you don't have the same goals ultimately for the company. Then the values and ethics, number 2. And then also, you know, I just want to emphasize this part is the amount that you learn is the same whether you went into it alone or went into it with 10 different people. I mean, think about that. I always think about my first flip. I wish I would have done it with 10 people. Ultimately, because my risk would have been spread across 10 different people, but I would have learned the same amount.
Same thing.
Isn't that crazy? The crazy to think I could have spent $5,000 instead of the whole 100,000 and still learned, okay, this is how much this costs. This is what this costs. That's the beauty of partnerships, is spreading your risk across, and you're ultimately going to achieve the same goal and learn the same amount of information.
You can't put a price on the experience. You know
Exactly.
what I mean? And you know, and like exactly like you said, $100,000 was going to get you the same amount of experience as the $5,000 was.
That's exactly,
you know. So and I couldn't agree more with you than that. You know, so
we started with the $5,000 when opening our office.
And that's exactly what you said in the beginning. You know, so coming full circle, you know, I mean, yeah, definitely. You know, this is something to where partnering with someone. I would say, to conclude, you definitely need a dating period, you know, so dating, and then, you know, eventually you get married, you know what I mean, with the partnership, you know, so and you know, it's definitely not easy, but at the end of the day, it could be very rewarding as long as you have a sense of understanding for one another and you share that common goal, and the common goal is always going to fuel you forward.
That's key thing. I mean, and then going back to when there are the downs, right? Because it's not always pretty, and you know, it could be pretty on social media, but in between and under everything else, there could be a lot of turmoil. And I think the biggest key thing is having that communication and being open. And I told him this a long time ago, and I felt like, man, I'm going back on what I said.
Right.
And I'm not sure if you remember this back when we started this partnership. It's like, look, the only way this is gonna work is if you ever have an issue with me, or I have an issue with you, don't go to someone else and tell them that issue. If there is an issue, address it with me directly, and I think that's how we're going to continue to go forward. Because as soon as we start just talking to other people about your partner, and it continues on, it's going to fester and fester, and then you're not going to allow it to heal or there's problems. So I think there was one particular night, he remembers this, it was ourselves.
Yeah.
There was a lot of tension. And I said, you know what? This is the time when we got to talk. We're going to sit down. I'm going to roll my chair next to him.
Yeah.
And we talked. He was sitting in where he sits at regularly. And we were there. It was late night. It was just both of us.
Yeah.
Building to ourselves.
Yeah.
Let's hash it out. Let's air it out exactly what you've been feeling. And I'll go next. And then why was this happening? How can we avoid it? And what should we do now?
And that was a time when we were having thoughts of splitting.
Right.
It's happened, right? As partnerships,
Yeah,
you're
of
gonna think
course.
like maybe I could do better without you. Maybe I'll do my own thing. You know what I mean? But we did talk that night, and
we gave each other like ultimatums.
he was honest about his situation. I was honest about mine.
Key thing, being honest with and being accountable
100%.
to
And honestly, I gotta commend Edwin. He's made a lot of changes in his business, a lot of changes that were creating issues. Same with me, and the fact that he brought a lot of change to his own life for his own self. Like F the business and F me.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day, it comes down to the shit that you need to do for yourself. Because I'm not gonna be able to do it for you. I've already done what I had to do, and I've given you support. It's gonna come down to at the end of the day what you need to do for yourself. So you have a partner. They need to somehow make those changes, and honestly, he's made the change. He's killing it right now. He has about 9 escrows.
Man,
now.
this guy really is killing it,
He
man.
freaking is a complete 360 from last year at this time. And I talk shit. I'm a big shit talker. Everybody knows that. And I'm gonna talk shit.
That's what I love most about Lotus.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk shit. I'm gonna give it like it is. A lot of people don't like it. I have a few people there that don't like that shit. Tell it to me like it is. Fuck it. I don't care. But I'm also going to give credit where credit is due. And if I see a change and there's been a big difference, and that's the shit that we need to kind of get to the next level of our business and our partnership, fuck it. Bring it on. You know what I mean? I don't know if I could cuss, but...
And
you can.
That's
I
key
cuss
thing
multiple
because
times.
I said the same thing. I said the same thing about him to his girlfriend. I said, hey, what's going on with Jose? Is he getting he's changed. I'm not sure if he's noticed it or himself
I have.
or something, but or what was going on with him or what have you. But a lot of has changed, and to keep it general or more simple, he's nicer now. He doesn't like lash out like immediately. He's not on defense mode for some reason. Like he was, what's up with this?
He's not
defense?
snapping.
He's not snapping like ASAP like all the time for any little thing and having paragraphs after paragraphs.
I smoke weed now.
So is that what it is?
I'm kidding.
So-
And just in case you guys didn't notice, Tab spoke about Edwin here, making some changes.
And I'll talk about that freely as well.
Kevin, Tapatio, and myself, we all got red cups in front of us. Edwin does not. So Kevin, I'm sorry, Edwin.
This is apple juice.
Edwin has made a huge life-changing choice, and I'm directly witnessing, what is transpiring from making that decision.
Right.
So I definitely commend you, man. I give you all the credit in doing that.
It's probably the best decision I ever made in my life, and I mean that with the bottom of my heart. And I've said that the next 5 years, whatever the hell happens, I'm gonna do more in the next 5 years than the last 20 years combined.
And I believe it,
because of the clarity I have. I just don't. I'm relentless right now. I don't care about nothing else but work and family. Work and family. That's it. That's it. I got 9 escrows like you mentioned. I don't have 0. I have 0 right now.
Yeah.
I'm acting like
That's
I
the
have
mindset.
all my money that I'm making right now is going back into the investments I have, and my goal is to have 3 more doors before the year's over. And then more and more of that. And really now everything else is helping. Everything else is coming alive, right? The business is now making that turn on the families, everything. So, and what they're talking about, obviously being sober for I've been sober 5 months. I plan to, this is forever. This is not something that I plan to do on a break like I have in the past.
The alter ego is retired forever.
It's over. The Don Dada is over with. The Don Dada is over with.
That's right, man.
And so that's the key thing. And now it's, just having to know that your goals are no longer being pushed out further because you only got 3 days that you're clear-minded out of the week. Because in real estate, it's everywhere. It's like there's alcohol pushed in your face everywhere. Yep. Everywhere. So at the end of the day, you think about it, like your mind's not clear through the whole week. And you wake up 8 in the morning now, let's go. What do you want to do? So now your long-term goals are becoming your short-term goals. Short-term goals are becoming tomorrow's goals. And being done as far as what I mean by that. So things come faster. So very, very, just
like
excited.
I said, credit where credit is due. I commend him on that change because we know me and him have had. I know shit that's happened, and the fact that he gets to change that, it's amazing. But I want to touch, you talked about the numbers and splitting. What me and him have done is since the beginning is we know that we need to reinvest. We've been reinvesting from our company. So me and him don't really take cuts. What we get to do is we get to expense a lot of shit out for
Tax
our
write-offs.
business that we do tax write-offs
Has
for.
to be tax write-offs.
So we do tax write-off with our car insurance or our company vehicle, right? Our gas. The company pays for our gas. Now our health benefits, all that stuff is what we've been doing with the company to have tax write-offs and not necessarily take like these 20, 30 grand from the company and then the company's left with nothing. So now we've been reinvesting the last 4 years into the company, back into our agents in every way possible with new systems, new trainings, people that come and speak to them. So that's what's kind of how our partnership hasn't been where we have to split 50-50. We equally take the expenses to grow the business, and we reinvest back into the business.
Very nice.
All right,
And that's just the beginning right now. And then our next thing will be the escrow division and lending division whenever that happens, because really the money's being made there.
Yeah.
We're not, no broker can get rich just off our splits. There's bigger companies out there. That's the biggest company out there that really have given 100% commissions to the agents out there. I'm like, wow, how does that happen? But because they force them to use their escrow and lending. So that's where the money's being made. So that's other things that we're looking forward to in the next 5
More
years.
things to add. Yeah, absolutely,
just
man.
don't force your agents to use your lending. And I'm good with it.
Brooklyn in the house.
Key thing for Kevin.
House. Yeah.
A real estate division sounds pretty nice right now.
We can do escrow, right?
Maybe there's a JV opportunity.
Maybe we can partner up an escrow here. I don't know.
There you go.
I have a feeling that part's gonna be cut out from the podcast.
Definitely. But with that being said, guys, definitely a pleasure having you guys here. We'll start with Edwin. Edwin, where can they find you on Instagram? In case anyone wants to follow you.
The Lotus Broker.
Okay,
that's where
perfect.
we're found. And then obviously Facebook is Edwin ACEVEDO on Facebook, and the Lotus Broker on IG.
Tapatio.
For me, and by the way, that's my nickname for the ones that don't know me. Tapatio is my nickname. If you ask for Jose PEREZ, you're not gonna. There's every other Mexican his name.
Absolutely.
But on Instagram is Broker Taps, and on Facebook is Jose Tapatio Perez. So anything you guys need, reach out. Always have people reaching out all the time, asking real estate
100%.
questions or investment questions. Feel free to reach out to us.
Not only that, if you want to join our brokerage, reach out as well.
If you're tired
Yeah.
of being in that brokerage, don't be the dog sitting in the nail complaining and moaning.
Yeah.
Get your ass up, make a change, join Lotus Group Real Estate.
Just ask yourself, would your broker do a podcast with you? Exactly.
Well, I'll do the Suge Night. If you're tired of your broker dancing all over the videos, dancing, come to Lotus Group. They used to call me Suge, so might as well say that.
No, and I can advocate 100% for that, guys. If you're a realtor out there, if you're someone thinking about getting into the business, if you're thinking about wholesaling, if you're thinking about doing anything regarding real estate, loans, whatever, definitely this group of individuals here, we could definitely help you guys out. And, I don't get anything, but all I can say is that these guys are 100% very good brokers, people that can help you grow your business, scale your business. My business has only grown since coming to Lotus Group. Wendy could say the same thing. And, so with that being said, I'm tuning out too, guys. Mario Arroyo, agent extraordinaire on IG. If you guys have any questions for us, for myself, Kevin, please feel free to reach out.
And you know what? Kevin's been a great person for office. He's done great loans and great business with our agents and with Mario and Wendy. That's their backbone right there. So I commend you for being a great partner because you're a partner of Lotus.
I appreciate
you guys
it.
do business with our agents. You're pretty much in partnership with us. So
Appreciate it, guys.
definitely.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
With that said, I'm Kevin Brady, aka Senor Brady on Instagram. This is the Art of Partnerships, and we're looking to partner with you.